Summertime is heating up at Global Voice Broadcasting. Hot music, hot talk, and hot topics. All day, every day, 24/7. You don't want to miss a minute on Global Voice Broadcasting.
I highly recommend Ms. Hicks. Her books, her CDs are encouraging.
I bought her book, A Hill to Climb. She's a very inspirational speaker.
And I look forward to one day being able to work with her.
Your power lies within you. Let it loose.
Aspiration, inspiration, motivation, edification, determination. These are the keys of life success, brought to you by none other than award-winning author, motivational lecturer, business consultant, and much more, as she gets you aimed to your purpose. And now, ladies and gentlemen, young and elder, from Hollywood to the entire world, here is your host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, Louise Hicks, along with her co-host, yours truly, Kennon Wesley Mason.
Hello, world. This is Louise Hicks, your host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, and we'd love to thank you all for joining us for another special edition of Aim to Purpose, and I'm your host, Louise Hicks.
And I am your co-host, Kennon Mason, and as always, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone listening and watching Aim to Purpose, the radio show, as we broadcast live each and every week from Global Voice Broadcasting. This week, For the Love of Reiki, Achieving Wellness Through Alternative Medicine, with today's guest, Paula Vail.
And we are so happy to have Paula with us, and we will be introducing you to Paula in a little bit. And I'd like to share with the world that Kennon is in Hollywood, but I'm in Texas. So we are broadcasting from two coasts. He's on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. I guess you could say Texas Southeast Coast, or
you're in the South.
Forth. But yeah, I'm in the South.
You're in the South,
and it's not too hot either.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit humid, but welcome everyone to the show today, and we have a great show for you. And as you know, we always like to give you a little bit of what's going on with us, hot topics and so forth, before we bring on our special guest. And I have had a great week. We hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend. Last week we were on demand. We were not live on the air, but I had a great Labor Day weekend. I had an elevation journey with some ladies and gentlemen here in Corsicana, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, in case some of you may have never heard of Corsicana. But we had my favorite CPA. You hear a lot of him on Facebook, Eric Pierre. And we also had Jason Howard, who is also on Facebook. He's a financial advisor and a person that wants you to become aware and have a purpose in life. And of course, Eric Pierre is always giving us tax information and how to get the best with your money and how to allow Uncle Sam to really be a good uncle to you, so you don't have to pay Uncle Sam all of your money. You can keep some of your money in your pocket. So we had a great time on our elevation journey when we talked about emancipation and free yourself, to give everyone an opportunity to kind of have an understanding of what your purpose really is in life and where you want to go with your life, because you can have anything you want in life. All you have to do is believe and do the work, and you can have it. And we're going to be putting on a similar event like this in Los Angeles in the coming weeks. But I know, Ken, you had some information about what's been going on with the vaccine industry, or I should say the drug industry, pharmaceutical industry. And as you all know that have been joining us, we talk a lot about health and wellness, and we are happy to have Paula because she's going to share with us what Reiki is.
Yeah.
And Ken, what's going on with Dr. Bob Sears?
Yeah, I have an article here. This is from LATimes.com. Excuse me. Headline: Dr. Bob Sears, critic of vaccine laws, could lose license after exempting toddler. And it goes on to say, Dr. Bob Sears, an Orange County pediatrician and nationally known critic of vaccination laws, faces the loss of his medical license after the state medical board accused him of improperly excusing a toddler from immunization and endangering both the child and the public. The Medical Board of California contends in legal documents released Thursday that Sears committed, quote, gross negligence, end quote, and deviated from standard practice when he issued a letter in 2014 prescribing no more vaccinations for the child. In the 6-page accusation, the medical board faults Sears for failing to obtain a detailed history of a 2-year-old patient's vaccines before writing the letter, and instead relying on the child's mother, who described how the boy lost urinary function and went limp in response to previous immunizations. By not providing a, and quote, evidence-based recommendation, Sears left the child, his mother, and, quote, future contacts at risk for preventative and communicable diseases, end quote. The physician faces a wide range of penalties if found negligent, including the revocation or suspension of his medical license.
Now, that's quite interesting.
It is interesting. We're here. Yeah, go ahead.
Dr.
Go ahead.
Sears, wasn't he one of the doctors in the documentary Vaxxed?
I'm not sure if this is the same Dr. Sears.
Okay.
You may be talking about the one from the TV show, The Doctors.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is a different Dr. Sears. He's an Orange County pediatrician.
I was just kind of curious about that because it appears to me that anytime a doctor is advocating health and wellness in a different fashion from just divvying up the medications, they seem to go after these doctors, the powers that may be.
Yeah.
And we know that there have been many doctors that have disappeared or supposedly committed suicide or lost their license or been disciplined. It's just amazing how the doctors who really care about patients, it appears, they somehow go after them. And it's really sad that this doctor, because he is allegedly, I guess, gave what do you call it?
He basically exempted the toddler and said, you know, the vaccines that he's already been given have had adverse effects on the child, according to the mother.
Mm-hmm.
According to the mother, it says that his stance has been criticized by fellow pediatricians for misinforming parents about the in-depth testing of vaccines and downplaying the dangers of vaccine preventable diseases. His own colleagues are criticizing him for wanting to...
Well, of course they are, because vaccines are a moneymaker. And if you look at the ingredients in vaccines, you will know that it's many poisonous ingredients. And if we were to take those ingredients and give them to our children without being in a vaccine, we would be thrown in prison. And who would know better than the mother the reaction that the child had after having the vaccination? The mother is with the child.
That's right.
So these doctors, as I can always say, and I use myself as an example, anytime, that you have a doctor that's not willing to listen to you and you need to get your medical records so you can see what these doctors are saying about you, because I know from my own personal experience that I'm calling them out, because I had some very unethical doctors doing a litigation that I had through Los Angeles County, in which I won when I got sick within the county of Los Angeles. And I had some very highly unethical doctors. However, I had some highly ethical doctors as well. And when I got my medical records, I was appalled at what some of those doctors had written in my medical records, because they were a pack of lies. And it's just amazing how unethical and how greedy some of these doctors are. They will sell their mothers, it appears, some of them, just for the money and the profits that they are getting. And I'm speaking from firsthand. I am not defaming anyone. I'm speaking based on my own personal experience with these unethical doctors after getting my medical records. And even some of them were called out by the ethical doctors. So we really have to, when I see articles like this, and you sent me the article, Ken, and I had an opportunity to read it as well, I really question this type of behavior from the medical board. And I've also had to call out the medical board in regards to some issues related to my mother. This was some years ago, because of the things that they do as well. Because as we all may know, or some may not know, the medical industry has a lot of corruption in it, just as the political industry does. And I have dealt with a lot of the situations and issues due to myself and my son. So when I speak from personal experience as well with the situation that I've dealt with in the medical industry. And it has not been pretty a lot of times. But that is not to defame anybody, because there are some highly ethical doctors, and apparently Dr. Bob Sears seems to be one. Yeah. And I notice on Facebook, many Facebook members are rallying around him, because we know how corrupt the medical industry is, and we know that there's a lot of negligence within the medical industry.
Yeah,
so
there's
that's
negligence.
My take on it.
And you mentioned politics as well. This is political season, and you haven't heard any of the political candidates mention anything about vaccinations, other than Donald Trump has mentioned a little bit about checking the efficacy of vaccinations. But I'm curious to see what if these kind of questions will be allowed to be asked to these candidates, including the third-party candidates, who, from what I can see, are for mandatory vaccinations as well. So you can't rely on political figures to solve this situation. We have to be proactive as parents. I'm a parent as well. And we have to start learning about how our bodies function, first and foremost, and getting better information from physicians about the efficacy of the vaccinations. Ask your doctor what's in the vaccination. Ask your doctor why these ingredients are in the vaccination for to be administered into a child's pure body directly after birth. And why is it that parents that the mother's discretion is being overruled by the medical board, as if they know what's best for this child?
Absolutely. And who knows what's best, because I know I was very proactive in my own health care, and that's why I got my medical records. And I would advise any parent to speak up. Do not allow any doctor to bully you, because you know your child better than any doctor does. Because once you give your child a vaccination, you're the one that's taking that child home. You're the one that's monitoring that child, so you know what type of reaction that child may have. And as we all have been told, I've heard some nurses say, when these children are taken to the emergency room, many times they're supposed to document all the time, from what I understand, why that child, what the reaction and so forth is. Many doctors do not do that. So, and also we know that it's all about greed and the profit. And remember when we had Dr. Michael Gaeta on the show, who is very, very involved with the vaccinations. He's very versed on how they operate and everything. And he had gone to some conference, he said, and a pediatrician informed him, but he would never do it, of course, in front of his colleagues or anybody, that what the vaccine's all about. And many doctors don't even know what's in them because they don't do their research. This doctor here has done his research according to what I understand. And he knows what harm vaccines can do and what the ingredients are. And that's why I tell all parents to do your own research, do your own homework, and do not allow anybody to harm your child. I don't care who it is. If I had children, minor children now, I would never vaccinate my children based on the ingredients that are in there. Mercury, aluminum, formaldehyde, and I mean, all kinds of. You can go to the CDC website and they tell you what's
it's all there. It's all public knowledge.
It's no secret.
Yeah, it's a public knowledge. The people, it's
public
public knowledge, and the people are too afraid to know truth, because when you know truth, that means you have to make drastic changes. And some people are really comfortable with where they are in life, and they remain complacent and keep the illnesses that they have because they're used to it, and they listen to their doctors telling them that if you want to be well, you can manage your illness by taking these 2 pills every day for the rest of your life.
Of course, because you become a lifetime pharmaceutical customer. And I will tell anybody, I'm 65, I'm not on any medications, and what if our society was like me at my age and not on medication, and you don't need them? These people would have to find another career, and they would not be making all the money. Pharmaceuticals, over 70% of the population is on at least 1 or 2 prescription medications. So what is that telling you? So to me, a lot of this is common sense. So at any rate, we do talk about vaccines on the show. We've had doctors on who have spoken about it, medical doctors, chiropractors who have spoken as to how these vaccines affect your immune system and so forth.
Well, and now it segues to our guest, because now it's about taking a totally different approach to something such as illness and certain diseases, physical diseases, but also going into emotional healing as well with Reiki. And we're going to go into that in greater detail with our guest, Paula Vail, as we go into our commercial break.
Okay, we'll be right back.
So we'll be right back.
Introduce our guest as soon as we return.
That's right. For the love of Reiki, achieving wellness through alternative medicine, with our special guest, Paula Vail. We'll be right back.
Hello, world! It's the 2-year anniversary of Aim to Purpose, the radio show. So first, we want to thank everyone at Global Voice Broadcasting for the opportunity to share our views and opinions with the global audience. Go to gbvstudios.com/show/A2P. Next, we thank our wonderful guests that have graced the airwaves of A2P throughout the second year. Guests like U.S. President of Citizens Commission on Human Rights, Bruce Wiseman, author and founder of World Class Wrecking Crew, Alonzo Williams, retired family practitioner and author, Dr. Gary Coles, M.D., minister and life coach, Jewel Diamond Taylor, Dr. Fitness USA, Stephen Hersey, author of Holy Lockdown, Jeremiah Kamara, legendary actor, film director, and producer, Bill Duke, author and holistic health advocate, Dr. Layla Ali, author and speaker, Carrie Zane, Dr. O from Wellness Group of America, and many other guests that have openly shared their stories, knowledge, humor, wit, and wisdom with the A2P universe. And most of all, we thank you, the listening and viewing audience, for tuning in each and every week and tuning in to our archive shows on YouTube at Aim to Purpose Radio. Information is power, and the more our audience grows, the more we can give back to the audience, which makes all of us powerful. So we encourage all of you to spread the word about Aim to Purpose, the radio show. Lastly, if you'd like to advertise or sponsor the show, contact Shamika Brown at 1-818-533-8463. So keep tuning in as we continue into our third year, and we thank you again. This is Kennon Mason, co-host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show.
We are back, and we're about to introduce our special guest again. I'm your host, Louise Hicks of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, along with my son and my co-host, Kennon Wesley Mason. So now we are going to talk about For the Love of Reiki, but let's tell you a little bit about our special guest, Miss Paula Vail.
Yes, Paula Vail is a Reiki practitioner, teacher, and the founder of Wellness Inspired, where she offers healing and empowerment to men, women, and even animals. For over 10 years, Paula has practiced Reiki with passion and integrity, striving to teach the true essence of Reiki and to share the gift of healing with others. Paula is a worldwide radio host, speaker, author, and Reiki practitioner mentor. Quote, "I want to be a source of positive energy in the world, a source of caring and positive attitude," says Paula. Paula first discovered Reiki when her beloved family dog became ill. Someone suggested that she learn Reiki, and things took off from there. Today, in addition to her Reiki practice, Paula is the host of For the Love of Reiki on Voice America and Why Am I So Happy on BBS Radio Network. In 2015, Paula was featured in the Women of Distinction magazine and appeared on a billboard in New York City's Times Square by the Continental Who's Who organization as a pinnacle professional. Paula's business, Wellness Inspired, was voted the best of Tacoma in the wellness category 3 years in a row, earning it a place in the Hall of Fame, and that's Tacoma, Washington. Quote, "My hope for my radio shows is to bring more insight and inspiration and positive manifestation out into the world, as well as the hope that people unfamiliar with Reiki will seek it out." So let's give a warm Aim to Purpose welcome to our special guest, Paula Vail.
Hello, Paula. How are you?
Hello, Louise and Kennon. A big hello. I'm so honored to be on your show today.
Well, thank you, and welcome to Aim to Purpose, the radio show. We are excited to have you, and I'm excited, as Ken read your bio, you had a billboard in Times Square in New York. That's exciting. That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
That's
yes.
great.
When they sent me that picture, I almost couldn't breathe.
All right.
I can imagine. That is great. And you've done so many things. You owned a restaurant, and then you went from cooking to Wellness Inspired. I like the name of your business too, Wellness Inspired. And you kind of got involved in it because of your dog. Is that what happened? So how did you get to Wellness Inspired?
Yes, I went from someone who managed and owned a restaurant for 27 years, but I always loved people, loved animals, loved sharing a smile. And then after I sold my restaurant, my dear dog, Shotzi, a white German Shepherd that just owned my heart, was ill. Mm-hmm. She was about 14, and someone said I should learn Reiki, and I had never heard of it. So I researched it, took a Reiki class, and just fell in love with it. And then also saw the benefits of what it did for my dog, Shotzi. I had her 2 more years. And the benefits I saw and felt, you know, to me, Reiki is life-changing. that is my best description. It really is. I just feel it's life-changing.
Well, I've heard of it, but I really don't know what it is myself. So share with us what Reiki is. I'm sure Ken probably knows because he is a wellness professional as well.
Yeah, actually, I have a...
I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I spoke to Paula briefly before the start of the show, and I was sharing with her that I myself have a history with Reiki going back to 2002 when I was going to school to be a massage therapist, and one part of the curriculum was the first degree or first attunement of the Reiki practice, and I had never heard of it either until I started going down this path of wellness and healing. And the first time that I was attuned by my teacher, who's also a Reiki master teacher, I knew right then and there that energy was real, and it can be felt, and with proper perception, it can also be seen. So, what
exactly is it?
So explain what is Reiki.
What it is and how it works, what it does for us. Because I heard of it through Brenda Pierce, who is our empowered nurse. She's been on the show. She's out of Canada, and it's been a while ago, so I don't recall exactly what it is. So share with us what is Reiki.
You got it. To start, it's very simple but yet powerful. It is very simple. It is spiritually guided life force energy, and this energy works holistically on the whole person. Each and every one of us is surrounded by life force energy, and this energy surrounds us. It penetrates our physical body, and our luminous energy field actually tells our DNA what to do. It's really amazing.
That's right.
And I'm very into the scientifics of it as well. There is so much documentation these days on what Reiki does. But basically, that Reiki energy, we connect with that. That comes through us. If we are offering Reiki to a client, that energy comes through us to the client. It's a positive energy. It breaks down negative energy. It releases blockages. It balances. And when our energy is balanced, our chakras are balanced, our body can heal itself. So that's a big part of it.
That's right.
A big part of it is what it does for us emotionally. Oh, my gosh, what it can do for someone going through trauma or emotional issues. It helps. And one of my favorite things about Reiki, it is a huge, huge boost to our immune system.
Right.
So if someone learns Reiki, first and foremost is, oh my gosh, what it does for them. It raises them to a higher vibration. I believe it really opens up our intuition and our connection with Source. I almost say, I believe Reiki really kind of is similar to a prayer modality because we are connecting with Source. That's coming through us. Anyone can do Reiki. Anyone, can benefit Reiki. There is no negative. It's totally safe. And what's amazing and what I get so excited about as a practitioner is I just get out of the way. I have faith and confidence and knowing, and that Reiki goes where needed. I don't have to worry about it. It gives that person, that animal, what they need. It gives them balance. And many times someone can come to you and really not know what they need. Let's say someone has a headache. You don't want to totally focus on that headache. You want to just focus and put the affirmation out there that what they need they will receive, because that headache could be from dehydration.
That's right.
And so after I learned Reiki and saw what it did for my pets, what it did for me and friends and family, that's when I made the decision I want to be a practitioner and offer it to others. And that's where I created Wellness Inspired. And then I also have brought in crystal healing. I have a crystal healing bed, and it's really fun to add those things. But basically, Reiki is the tool. It really is just. I get excited when I talk about Reiki.
Is it physical? Are you physically doing something when you practice Reiki? Is it a physical? Does the person have to be present with you?
No, they don't. There's actually what's called hands-on Reiki, which they are right there with you. You just do a light touch, and that can be in a office, like someone's Reiki office, or I've offered Reiki to people at airports or when I'm on trips. But there is something also called long-distance Reiki.
Right.
So you can send Reiki to someone, to a situation, to an animal on the other side of the world. It goes beyond time and space.
Right.
It's an awesome thing. And Kennon, I know you know how wonderful it is. It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Beautiful, amazing, and powerful.
It is powerful, and the more that your vibration is raised, the more applicable the healing art can be, because as Dr. Michael Beckwith would say, that we extend our heart through our hands, and Reiki is a practice that it doesn't have to be hands-on. It can be, where you're actually having your hands hovering above the client. And as far as distance healing goes, like you said, energy knows no thing about time or space. So you could send a thought or an intention of healing to someone, like you said, across the planet, and that thought or intention is picked up by that person, around the world. Spontaneous healing has been documented all over the world by Buddhist monks that pray prayers surrounding one person, and all of that energy gets absorbed by that one person. That's how powerful energy is, and spontaneous healing occurs. It does make sense.
It makes lots of sense. And you had mentioned the chakras, and I know we had talked about that. We've had several guests who have talked about the chakras, but for maybe someone just tuning in, what exactly is the chakra? I know it's different parts of your body, right, that are somehow you work with them.
Yes, there's
is
basically
that related to the energy?
They're part of their energy. They move in cycles. Okay, it's part of our energy system, and there's a main 7 chakras that everyone is familiar with and works with. But we actually have several chakras.
Right.
We have more than that.
Right.
But the main 7 chakras that we each have is kind of what everyone mainly focuses on. And so the Reiki energy actually comes in and brings balance, removes negativity, blockages in these chakras so that they can flow and that they're healthy, and then that enables them to bring our body in balance, to have our energy system in balance, and then our body can heal itself. It's capable of doing that. Reiki allows that. Reiki knows where to go. It knows, and it goes into our tissues, our muscles, everywhere. It's a really beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds beautiful, and I know when we had the person on, Brenda Pierce, our empowered nurse, she talked about, I think she's a master Reiki professional as well, and it was so interesting how you describe it, how you can go across the world and touch someone, and it makes sense to me because I look at how gravity holds an airplane in the air, something the universe is so wide open to do things for us if we will allow it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. I love that. And, you know, it really is a powerful thing for each of us as well. I'm very also into positive mindset and being open and allowing, and that really benefits us when we're receiving or sending Reiki. And the long distance, for example, I'll give you a couple examples.
Sure.
We can send long distance Reiki to someone, let's say, in a hospital and having a surgery or something along that line, and that's very powerful. And statistics have even shown that people that receive long distance Reiki, they have shorter surgeries, they have less time on pain meds. It's just amazing, and it's really fun to see these statistics backing up what it does. I have a client. Well, she's a student now. A few years ago, she was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and she chose nutrition and Reiki. She contacted me, a relative did, and asked if I would send her Reiki. So I was sending her Reiki on a regular basis. She went to the Gersten Institute. She's now cancer-free. She lives in Australia. And just a couple months ago, she flew to Seattle to take a level 1 Reiki class from me. It was so wonderful.
Amazing.
But,
Amazing.
you know,
and some people don't believe that, Paula. They will go the traditional route of chemotherapy, which is poison, and I know a lot about it because I had my 35-year-old son, whom I'm conservative, had cancer at 14, and I didn't know all the things I know now about cancer and the chemo, the poison of it, and so forth. But that's amazing that you sent the Reiki to her from Tacoma, Washington, where you are, to Australia.
Yes, yes. Isn't it amazing? Another fun story, I had a longtime friend who now lives in the country of Jordan. She married a man from Jordan, and she was visiting last year, and we had lunch, and she said, Paula, she loves Reiki. My husband gets these terrible headaches every night. No matter what, we can't figure anything out. Nothing helps. Will you send him Reiki? And I said, okay. So the next day I sat down, sent him long-distance Reiki, and she emailed me later and said, did you send Reiki? I said, yeah. What time? So I told her, and oh my gosh, she says, that's the time. He had gone to bed. He had a horrific headache. Half hour later, he had no more pain. So, and this happens all over the world, you know, with Reiki.
And he didn't know you were sending the Reiki to him. You just decided, okay, I'm going to send you this positive energy, and it's just going to flow through your body. Is that how you say it, or what you do? And that energy, you're connecting with that person through the mind experience and the body experience. Is that what you're doing?
Basically, we're connecting it. First, we connect with our higher self. He knew I would send Reiki. He didn't know when or what day. But basically, that Reiki energy, will go to our higher self. Okay. And our higher self will take that in. Our higher self will welcome that. Someone doesn't have to believe in Reiki to benefit from Reiki.
Right.
Because it does connect with our higher self. Because our higher self is connected to Source, is part of Source, just like we all are. And we all have that beautiful connection. So it all works together. It's really a beautifal thing.
Now,
and when you say Source, go ahead, Ken.
Now, when
you, what were you going to?
Well, I was just going to ask, when you're doing when you're having Reiki, does the client have to be receptive to it, such as in hypnotism? If the client's not receptive, then the hypnotism won't occur the way the hypnotist may think that it's supposed to occur. Now, so you're saying the Reiki client doesn't necessarily have to be totally receptive or believing in the practice, because the energy of the practice will kind of take over everything anyway.
Because we have our, I'll call it the ego mind.
Right.
And we have our inner self, our higher self. That Reiki is going to come, through Source. It's going to connect to their higher self. I've had, like, for example, a woman that brought her husband in. He does construction work. He had an injury, and he had been going to a chiropractor and pain, and, just couldn't relieve his pain. And he did not believe in Reiki. What are you doing? Honey, I don't want to do this. Oh, okay, I will. It was hilarious.
Did he think it was some kind of witchcraft or something?
Yeah.
Right.
And after his first session, he was, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I cannot believe how good I feel. And then he came back several more times. So, you don't have to be. I do think having an open mind is a positive thing, just because that puts you in a positive mindset. And I think in any regard, a positive mindset just benefits you. Yes.
That makes sense, especially when you say it's kind of like prayer. Now, when you say source, what source are you referring to, Paula?
I'm referring basically to Holy Spirit. You could call it God, Source.
Okay.
The I am. I mean, there's a lot of names. Reiki is not a religion.
I got you. So it would
Reiki
be
is spiritual,
that whatever your perspective is from a spiritual standpoint.
It's personal, yeah. I'm big into the archangels. I always call in the archangels. I personally,
I'm big into spirituality, and God is my source, and I believe powerfully in prayer, and I'm sure, like you're saying, Reiki is similar to when you pray, Reiki, that energy, and we do have that. I believe all of what you're saying. It can happen. You don't even have to believe it. It's like prayer, I guess, too. You can pray for someone, and things can happen to them miraculously, and they don't have to pray, but you can pray for them. So that's amazing, though.
Exactly.
So what we're going to do, we want to take a break, I guess, right now, and then we want to come back and talk a little bit more about the effects you're having on people and why you're so effective, and also your mentoring program and the radio show that you do, of course.
Yes,
we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Yes, it's For the Love of Reiki, Achieving Wellness Through Alternative Medicine, with our special guest, Paula Vail. Don't you go nowhere. This edition of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, is brought to you by L. Hicks Consulting Services. When you want the best in business coaching, life coaching, or perhaps your organization, business, or company is in need of a dynamic speaker for an upcoming workshop or seminar, contact Louise Hicks for L. Hicks Consulting Services at 1-562-310-1495. From anywhere around the world, that's 1-562-310-1495. For more information about Louise Hicks and her consulting services, visit her website at www.louisehicks.biz. Again, that's www.louisehicks.biz. Or call 1-562-310-1495. L. Hicks Consulting Services, where professionalism is top priority.
We are back, and we have a great conversation going here with our special guest today, For the Love of Reiki, Achieving Wellness Through Alternative Medicine. Our special guest, Paula Vail, founder of the Wellness Inspired. And I'm just excited about this because it sounds so energizing, and it sounds like you, from what you're saying, you're so effective in, especially with the woman in Australia that is cancer-free now through Reiki and nutrition. And that I know that happens because I remember this documentary by Ty Bollinger, Cancer, I think it's called Cancer, A Global Quest for Truth. And that was a great documentary about cures for cancer, patients on there talking about their truth of how they were healed. And you are effective. You healed a headache, and I mean, why do you think you're so effective at this, Paula? Why are you have people reaching out to you from all over the world, globally?
I think a big part of it is getting out of the way, keeping ego out of it, knowing that the Reiki is not you, the Reiki is coming through you. And I think when we surrender and access, the love of an energy of source, I think it's just huge. And I think that's a big part of it, and the intent and the confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it would help to build your confidence, because again, you getting out of your own way to be successful in this, it will give the client incentive to want to be that way too, because they see how it's made an impact, a positive impact on you. And then you transfer that type of energy to the client. And then over time, as they change their perceptions about life and get all the negative emotions and clear those out, then you just kind of become more lighter, and you become more enlightened because you're lighter now. You're lighter, which means you can become more in tune with spirit now. You can become more in tune with you become more in tune with the energy of the universe or source, or whatever you choose to call it. But you become more in tune. It's like a radio becoming more in tune when you turn your radio dial. It's fuzzy and staticky until you turn it to the right frequency, and then it's crystal clear. The human body functions the same way. When you clear out all the negative gunk and stuff, whether it's physical stuff from all the stuff we've taken in from food and the air we breathe and all this other stuff, and then all the emotional things that we've experienced in life that we hold on to for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, we finally allow ourselves to release that. And it's amazing, the lightness. People always say that, oh, it feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah, they do say that.
And
it is really a weight has been lifted when you clear out all the negative, negative vibrations that we carry around with us. Many of us, like Ken said, and I know, Ken, you said you had gone to this class, I guess, a Reiki class, and you had an attunement. You said, how did you feel? Did you feel relieved or released all of the negative energy in your body, and everything started feeling like a weight was off your shoulder? Is that how it feels?
At the time, I didn't feel all of that, because at the time I really didn't know what was going on. It was something totally new for me at the time, because I didn't know what Reiki truly was or what its benefit was, but I did know how I felt in the moment, and it felt like an energy, like a surge. It almost felt like you could feel like this surge of energy coming from off of one person onto you, and you can literally feel it. It's almost like a vibration, I guess, like a quick, almost like you're being like you have electrodes on you at the doctor, and they're kind of cranking up the electrodes on parts of your body, and you feel this kind of surge going through you. And it's very brief, but it's very distinct, because you have nothing restricting you from feeling it. It's energy, and it permeates everything.
And energy is everywhere, all over the place. And that's really amazing, Paula, because when you mentioned something, you said about your clients, and I think Ken had said how you were setting the example. So actually, when you are setting that example, is kind of you're mentoring as well. So is that why you decided to start your mentoring program, because you saw the effectiveness of how your clients were receiving the Reiki, and they were so inspired and how they felt? Is that what inspired you to start your mentoring program?
I started that. What inspired me was receiving emails from different practitioners around the country and in other countries asking advice. They were practitioners, advice on, with family and friends, or I want to start a business, or I have a pet. And I so want to help in any way I can anyone that is a Reiki practitioner. I see us all as a big team. I see the more Reiki in the world, the better the world. So because of getting emails from different people asking advice and any suggestions, that's what prompted me to start the Reiki mentoring program. And I just love it. Even if it's a 1-hour session with someone, just helping them understand or see things from a different perspective, or just sharing my thoughts is wonderful, or someone who we connect, for several months. It's just really, really fantastic. It's fun, and the beautiful people I meet, and, it just is a benefit for them. I believe they really, the people that have contacted me, it's been really a great relationship, and I'm just happy to share whatever I can to benefit others.
So you're changing lives all over the world. That's beautiful, because you are helping people to understand how, I use this tagline on every show, your power lies within you, let it loose. So you are helping people to really understand how powerful they are. You are empowering them. They're contacting you to mentor them. That's a beautiful thing. I love that.
Oh, thank
you. To
empower
people. That's amazing. Yeah. And what prompted you to start your own radio show? I know when I started mine, I never thought as a little girl growing up in Shreveport, Louisiana, that one day I would be a radio show host with my son, too, and talking to people all over the world. I mean, we've had guests from all over the world. So how does that feel? I know it's a great feeling to me to empower people. How does it make you feel, and why did you decide to start you have 2 radio shows, so tell us about each one.
Oh, I love that, Louise. You said it so well. We had no idea. I didn't have it. It had never entered my mind I would do radio, and I was approached 2.5 years ago by Voice America, and at first I was like, oh, let me think about it. And they called back, said, we really want you to do it, love your energy. And I thought, okay, I can do this. And I just have fallen in love with it. And that's why I'm also doing the other show now, because I just love it so much. And, you know how it is to interview and connect.
I know the feeling. It's really a great feeling, people. Because I feel so many wonderful people. Yeah, it's amazing, Paula. I know what you're saying.
And radio brought us together. I mean, it's just so wonderful. I never dreamed I would do something like this, and I love it so much.
Me neither. I mean, it's amazing what we end up doing that we didn't know, and then we find out that's part of our purpose, to inspire others, and others inspire us, because I'm so inspired by all the guests that I have on the show. I learn so much from them, and I'm so inspired. And to be doing this show with my son, I mean, I'm just amazed, because in a million years I never would have dreamed that this would be happening. So it's amazing,
awesome.
and I'm just excited about both of your shows, For the Love of Reiki, and what is the other one?
Why am I so happy?
Why am I so happy? Yeah, I've been asked that my whole life, so I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to title the show. I really believe happiness is a choice. I really
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Happiness is a choice, and also you started a series of books. Tell me about your book, because I'm an author too, and I love to write, and I love to read too.
Awesome. So I am just finishing up my first ebook. It's called "Why Am I So Happy?" And basically, it's about positive mindset, empowerment, self-love, gratitude, all those types of things. You know, I just really feel we are all in control, you know, of our lives, our decisions, living in our heart, what that means. So that's the basis of my ebook, and I'm going to make it a series. So I'm really excited, and I've been having a lot of fun with writing it. It's almost finished, so I'm really excited.
Wow,
Well,
nice.
I would love to read it because it sounds like it would really give you a lot of positive energy. It's just reading the books. Why Am I So Happy? I love the title. Why Am I So Happy? And it seems like you have truly found your passion and the love for people and animals, and what you're doing across the world is so positive. And we think we need to kind of wrap it up. So do you have anything else, Ken? I didn't mean you getting ready to say something.
Well, I just think that, you know, Reiki is something that more of the masses may want to consider as another option of healing. You know, most energy healings have been kind of foo-fooed, or people and physicians, allopathic practitioners try to explain it away, saying it doesn't work and all these things. Well, explain the placebo effect.
Yeah.
The placebo effect is proof that the human mind is greater than any practitioner coming out of Harvard Medical School or Cambridge or Oxford. The human mind is...
They are just trained in one perspective. Many doctors, they are trained, and many of them are coming out of that now and starting to do their own research. They're getting away from how they're taught. It's like, because we know the educational system is by design to give the masses what the powers maybe want you to know, and people are becoming more consciously aware now that they do have the power within themselves to heal and to take control of their own life. As you said, Paula, happiness is a choice.
It is a choice.
So,
and Paula, real quick before you give your final thought, I like just the title of your show alone. I'm extending a personal self-invitation, if you will, to come on your show, because I love talking about this stuff. I know in 1 hour, I know in 1 hour we can't really go into great detail about all the nuances of energy and how it works in accordance with Reiki, but I would love to go in depth with that subject and how it relates to life in general. And say, why am I so happy as well?
I would love that.
So in the last couple of minutes that we have, could you give us a final thought and tell our audience how we can find you?
Everyone, you can read about me and check out my shows at wellnessinspired.com. That is my main website. I do have a second website, the Paula V Network, but the Wellness Inspired is going to be my main website. So you can check me out there. And I just want to say, when I started my radio shows, and they said, "Oh, you're going to, air in other countries," and I was like, and it came to me, I'm not going to speak English. I won't speak English. I will speak the language of love. I want caring and love to resonate around this world.
Yeah.
So I just want to share with everyone, I do care about you. I love you. We're all connected.
Yeah.
So know
Absolutely.
that you have love inside of you. You are love. You are energy. you are connected. We are all connected together. And I just want to say big hugs to everyone out there.
Absolutely.
I love that. And that's why you're so happy, because you're spreading and sharing love with everybody. And I love that, because love is universal. And that's what needs to be practiced more. More love across the universe.
Yes.
I love that, Paula. And we thank you so much for coming on the show. You have an invitation to come back, because we know in 1 hour we can't get everything in, but you've shared some great information. We love it. And I'm looking forward to your book, your series to come out, Why Am I So Happy? And you can go to Paula's website, wellnessinspired.com.
That's right.
And again, we thank you. And going out of the show, we have the video you did. We're going to show that on the end of the show, your video. So thank you so much for coming on, Paula.
Thank you so much. Love and hugs. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
love
you.
and hugs back to you. So anyhow, we thank our audience for joining us. And as I always tell you at the end of the show, your power lies within you. Let it loose. And now we're going to share with you Paula's video. Thanks, Ken.
Do you want to learn more about Reiki and how it fits in with Western medicine and other alternative healing modalities? Tune in to For the Love of Reiki on VoiceAmerica.com. Host Paula Vail informs listeners on a variety of topics concerning Reiki, including its use in hospitals and the tremendous effect it has in regard to surgeries, pain, and its role in healing. She'll discuss how Reiki aids in healing us physically and emotionally, and discuss how our energy field, vibration, and intent plays such a huge role in our health, happiness, and self-empowerment. This is an amazing show, and it has quickly become one of the top shows on the Health and Wellness Channel. Paula strives to bring a sense of compassion and inspiration to the show through her amazing guests. Tune in to For the Love of Reiki on VoiceAmerica.com and learn how Reiki can change your life.